The Stormlight RPG's design team revealed. Will this be the big tabletop RPG hit of 2024?
It's gonna be a great year.
This week, Brotherwise Games revealed the design team behind the Stormlight RPG, a new tabletop RPG based on the Stormlight Archive, Brandon Sanderson's immensely popular fantasy book series about basically some magic-powered knights trying to stop a new worldwide calamity. The new game will be designed by Andrew Fisher, with Lydia Suen serving as the lead writer and Anthony Joyce Rivera serving as the project lead. More members of the design team will be announced later this month at Dragonsteel Con, which is a convention all about Brandon Sanderson and his work. If you've followed tabletop RPGs and tabletop games, you're probably familiar with some of the designers' work. Fisher is a Fantasy Flight Games vet and worked on the Star Wars RPG line, along with other major releases like Descent and Lord of the Rings: Journeys in Middle-earth. Suen is best known as the lead designer of Adventures in Rokugan, Edge Studios' 5e adaptation of Legends of the Five Rings. Joyce Rivera has worked on a number of D&D 5e supplements and has also worked for Critical Role and MCDM on various tabletop RPG projects, including Candela Obscura. Now, while details about the Stormlight RPG are somewhat light, we have seen the character sheet, and it looks like a mix of 5e and Genesis, which is the RPG system that was developed by Fantasy Flight Games and utilizes the same game engine as the Star Wars RPG that, Fisher designed while he was working for Fantasy Flight. For instance, the game utilizes talent paths and abilities that pull both from backgrounds and race, and also orders of the Knight Radiant, which is the type of knights that are magic-powered, and each one has different abilities. We also know that there are 3 kinds of abilities, focused on physical, mental, and spiritual, and 6 stats: strength, speed, intellect, willpower, awareness, and presence. We also know, based on this character sheet, that players will have both focus and investiture that they can spend to power various abilities. What will be interesting is whether the Stormlight RPG will be focused on combat, like, how D&D 5e encounters tend to be, or whether the game will have classes with abilities that are focused mainly outside of combat. For instance, in the Star Wars RPG, there are plenty of classes who aren't very useful in a fight, which is why the game is always described as a narrative RPG, because fights are just one way that the narrative advances. Anyways, expect to hear more details about the Stormlight RPG later this month, and expect a full breakdown of whatever Stormlight news we get at Dragonsteel Con. And also, be sure to stay tuned to the channel for a full breakdown of the big RPGs coming out in 2024. There are actually a lot of them, so why don't you hit those like and subscribe buttons before you click away from this video.